Moving right ahead with our program, we now have Kate Scott makes a return to the stage. If you can remember, last year she shared HortNZ launched the Whanau Moana Nui pilot. And this is an opportunity for her to share with us. If you'd like to put your hands together for Kate Scott.
Kia ora koutou, everybody. Bear with me. I'm going to try my very best from a pronunciation perspective to welcome you all in some of our wonderful Pacific languages. So bear with me, it's not my strength. So I'm going to start by saying Nisa Bulavanaka, Kuna Mauri, welcome, Talofa Lava, Halo, Talofa, Malo Olele, I've been practicing that one, and bon dia. So I want to extend my warmest welcome to all of our members of Parliament, heads of missions, our representatives across development organisations, regional institutions, permanent secretaries, heads of sending units, those employers of RSE peoples and our workers in the room. Welcome to you all, and it's my real pleasure to say kia ora and to share with you a little bit of an update on the Whanau Moana Nui pilot program, which is a real cornerstone and is at the heart of a lot of the work we're trying to do here at HortNZ. So bear with me while I try and make the technology work too. Right, so you may not be able to read all of the content inside of this slide, but basically what this timeline is intended to show is that much has happened since the inception of the RSE scheme all the way back in 2007. We've seen both wins for sending and receiving countries. We've seen individual lives improved. We've seen communities who have prospered and businesses who have grown. I think what's really important to contrast against this is that since the inception of the scheme, the horticulture sector itself has also grown significantly. And over the past 10 years, the value of our sector has almost doubled, and we see a substantial number of our workforce coming via the RSE scheme. However, we also have a program that has been operating for a long period of time, and what often comes with a long period of time is some challenges and some complexities that build up over time. And this next slide is intended to give you a little bit of a flavour of the complexity of the scheme in front of us. What we can see at the heart, and I think this is the key to the success of this scheme, is if we think about the employer and the employee being the heart of our scheme. Over the last 17 years, the scheme has become so big, we actually need to take back the essence of the visa settings. We need to make sure that, again, the grower and the employee are at the centre of that moving forward. You can see that the scheme itself does not operate without all those other people that occupy a space around the employer and the employee, and we need those people to help our scheme to flourish. But when we look at this complexity, we need to ask if the RSE scheme is still fit for purpose. Is it meeting the demands of horticulture and viticulture, and is it, importantly, meeting the needs of the Pacific and Timor-Leste? The scheme itself is extremely difficult to operate under now. All parties need certainty and flexibility if we are to have a sustainable, positive and impactful partnership. So why did we instigate a pilot program? So this started prior to my time, but it's something that I'm very proud of the team taking a huge amount of time and effort to continue to foster over the past 12 months when this was launched at the conference last year. The pilot came about from many discussions over the last few years. After that 17 or 18 years of the scheme, there seems to be a very strong desire for growers in the Pacific to continue to come together and to take a lead role in what could develop over time from this scheme. So what we did, what the team did, is they had a look at the scheme and they said, well, okay, why do we want to have a pilot program? And when we look very deeply into the concepts of whakapapa and whaunangatanga, we can see really clear links with our family from the Pacific. There was a need to get back to the original intent of the scheme, so how do we make sure that we are addressing seasonal labour issues, employer-driven employment opportunities for our Pacific partners, improve worker livelihoods and alleviate poverty. How do we also make sure that we direct employer, worker and sending nation relations? How also do we navigate the increasing complexity and regulation that underpins the scheme? And then how do we also finally make sure that we have a program that remains relevant and supports economic sustainability for sending and receiving countries? So that's the why, and so now what actually is Whanau Moana Nui? So Whanau Moana Nui is seeking to introduce a world-class assurance system, industry-led, government-enabled on practices to meet increasingly stringent market requirements around socially sustainable and ethical production practices. Whanau Moana Nui is an industry-led program that will complement the RSE scheme with an emphasis on impactful partnerships, economic opportunities through the spirit of collaboration and, importantly, reciprocity. It will focus on innovative solutions that empower mutual benefit and sustainable growth. So this approximately 2-year pilot is looking at what does good look like. What are the lessons that have been learnt through the scheme over the past 18 years, and how do we actually understand and document those and create pathways for people to move towards continuing to exceed those? Pacific partners and growers have been co-creating. They've been testing excellence performance models that enhance employer-Pacific connections. Whanau Moana Nui is intended to add a level of accountability, reciprocity and impactful partnerships. It's also intended to add value to employers' brands. It seeks to provide an assurance program that industry can influence, control and regulate in collaboration with both key stakeholders, employers and Pacific partners. It's about protecting, elevating and enhancing social licence by promoting sustainable and ethical practices. The pilot has been co-designed and co-created as a way to build trust and understanding and to look at ways of working together. To focus on enduring relationships. And when I think about this and what Whanau Moana Nui is looking to achieve, I draw on the old saying that says we will go further together. The other thing you will have heard about this morning was the Aotearoa Horticulture Action Plan, and it's really great to see this weaving together of the various streams of work that we work on as a sector, and it's wonderful that our Whanau Moana Nui pilot program is also helping us to deliver across 2 of the key priority areas of the Aotearoa Horticulture Action Plan. So that's helping us through building a responsible and attractive industry, as well as ensuring that recognised seasonal employer scheme, the RSE scheme, is fit for purpose and beneficial for all involved. So probably the piece that you're actually looking for is what is the progress that has been made to date since the launch of the pilot. You will see up there that there has been 4 Pacific pilot countries, 7 pilot employers, substantial and deep engagement, and a lot of co-design. Whilst we would have loved to have piloted the program with all of our Pacific partners, it was just not possible due to limited time and resources. We've therefore focused on choosing a variety of Pacific countries and growers, reflecting those that have been in the scheme for both a long time and a short time. Growers who are big and small, corporate and family owned, and who grow a variety of crops. To date, Focus has been working closely with pilot groups to co-design and co-create the performance standards, which I'll run through with you in a moment, focused on both pre- and post-departure training, reciprocity, pastoral care, cultural connectivity and accommodation, and there's also been some pilot audits stood up as well. Another part of the work that the team have been working on is to create a series of RSE information booklets that are designed to help both sending and receiving parties to actually understand a little bit more about the people and the culture from where they come. So far the team have pulled together a booklet looking at Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Samoa and Vanuatu, and you'll be able to find copies of those in the exhibition hall at the various Pacific trade stands. And the team are continuing to pull together the remaining countries so that we can have a really deep resource available to support everyone through employing our people from the Pacific. So what are the performance standards? So there are 8 of them that have been determined. Just reading from the slide, first one focuses around pre and post departure information, accommodation, reciprocity, grasp, pastoral care or well-being, the worker voice, cultural awareness, and having some form of continuous improvement plan. These performance standards have been set based on the co-design of growers, employees and the Pacific Islands, and the team tells me that through going through that process it was really wonderful to see really strong alignment as to what those key priorities were, and I think that's a great reflection of what we just heard before as well from this morning's sessions. We know that GRASP won't apply to everyone. For some it will be voluntary, for others it may be accepted as a form of prior recognition, seeking to avoid duplication. The value of a pilot is the opportunity to, in planning speak, plan, assess, do, review. You can tell that I have a background in planning. I like that little cycle if we think about that. So how do we look at what the outcomes we're wanting to achieve are, and how do we understand the ways in which we can add value to all of the partners. The really important aspect of this process has been creating a space for a worker voice. I'm not going to read out all the comments up there, but you can have a look over those. But what has been really heartwarming and special is to be able to provide an opportunity for workers to be asked about their ambitions and their desires, and to create a safe space for them to actually talk about what is important to them. So that is something that both Helen and Rebecca, I'm sure, would be very happy to talk you through in terms of the process. But you can just see up there that feedback. You know, if I select a couple of them, you know, there's one worker voice that talks to the fact that they have been 13 years with their company. They note that the employer and the accommodation is good, and I think that the testament there is that there has been a strong relationship for over 13 years. How do we continue to foster strong relationships and make workers feel that they have a place as well? If we come to our next steps, so in terms of next steps, we are going to be continuing to work our way through the pilot. We will be moving to try and ensure that there is more regular updates now that we're underway. Appreciate that perhaps at times there's been a little bit of silence from the comms perspective, but now that we are up and running with our 4 Pacific countries and our 7 employers, we now have more things to be able to share with you. So the best way to keep connected to that is to sign up to the RSE newsletter. If you have any trouble doing that, just see the team and they'd be very happy to help you with that. So in terms of those next steps, we're continuing to develop resources and training tools, focusing on the implementation, training of auditors, and then the most important step that comes out the back end is how do we monitor and evaluate, and how do we amend as we go, so that towards the end of the pilot program we've got a really clear understanding of what is and what isn't going to work. Towards the end of the pilot program, we will have hoped to have had 2 cycles of crops and workers, and from that be able to actually bring our further lessons and understanding and the where do we take this into the future. So look, just lastly, a big thank you to you all for your support, for coming to both the RSE and the Horticulture Conference, and for being prepared to share your perspectives around what is an integral part of our sector. I'd also just like to specifically acknowledge the work of Rebecca and Helen and Leisha, if she's in the room, for the work that they're putting into the back end for leading the pilot program. So that's it. Kia ora koutou, and thank you very much.